Welcome to Fraser Mac Gaming. I'm Fraser Mac. It's an exciting time in the indie world due to the amount of announcements coming out at Gamescom and other events at the moment. There's obviously PAX events on the horizon as well, so there's some fantastic indie games obviously showing off Eastward here again because I absolutely love the look of it. A lot of people obviously compared it to Earthbound, but today I'm going to show off some small games that maybe haven't had the exposure or some games that people kind of pass by. They're absolute bargain games, but they've had fantastic reviews. They've all come out in 2019, so they're games that you really should have on your Switch if you're looking for either something as a bargain price or something that maybe is slightly different from what you usually play. These games are all fantastically well reviewed. They're all real quality titles, but they're probably from smaller devs, and you might not have heard of them yet. So these are 5 hidden gems on Switch from 2019 that you should check out right now. So first up, it's a game that some people or fans of Devolver Digital will be familiar with, and it is Downwell, but it is definitely from a very small dev. It's actually a one-person team. It's Ojiro Mopin for Moto. So the dev company is called Mopin, but he ended up actually getting a job at Nintendo briefly in 2018 because of the quality of Downwell. But when you hear about the cost of the game, this game is less than £3. It's only $3 in the US eShop. It is a very simplistic looking game. Essentially you're falling and your only movement options are left, right, and you can use some gun boots to take out enemies. So you can land and you can actually shoot, but you've only got so many opportunities to shoot between each time you land on a platform. So you have to be quite strategic, quite clever. The enemies get more demanding, you fall faster. And you've obviously got to kind of overcome more obstacles as you go. It's procedurally generated, it's obviously a different colour scheme, but it reminds me of sort of back in the Game Boy days, but it's black, white and red. Downwell, again, it's a bargain price. It's fantastically well reviewed. There's only a handful of games in 2019 that have actually got better reviews. So go check it out, and I can guarantee once you try it, it will get its hooks into you and you will be addicted. Up next is a game that regular viewers of the channel will be familiar with, and it is Blazing Beaks. It featured on my eShop sale video recently, and I love to actually back, small devs, especially when it's involving shoot 'em up and twin stick games. I don't think they get the support they really deserve, but it's sitting on a 79 on Metacritic, which is a really good score, really solid. Obviously came out this year. You can play as 8 different characters. There's lots of different weapons. You can obviously, it's like a roguelike. You can play, die, repeat, but you can also play in tournaments with 4 local players, so you can get that kind of co-op action going and have a little bit of a battleground, a little tournament. It's got some really interesting weapons, different things you can do. The 8 different characters have got very specific skill sets, different traits, so you've got to find someone that suits your play style. Obviously play through the story mode. It's a lot of fun. It's obviously pixelated top down, quite cutesy, but like I said before, it's 50% off on the UK and US eShops till 1st September, so it's under £7 in the UK and around $7 in the US. Don't say I don't cover any tactical turn-based RPGs on the channel. I do give them a fair shout, especially when they have a kind of retro 16-bit SNES style graphical, kind of presentation. So this one, Tangled, obviously a lovely looking game. It's something I think I missed in my monthly releases, either because it got a short-term release or probably because at the time, RPGs, I was trying to avoid getting sucked into too many long games, but Tangled, very well reviewed, about a 79 on Metacritic. You've got to master some deep tactical turn-based combat. There's 12 unique jobs and 100 skills you can have. You can obviously choose between different game modes. The really interesting thing is it has a kind of permadeath, but you can actually alter and edit the way you want to play the game to make it easier or harder. If you just want to enjoy a nice playthrough, you can actually tweak it and play the game as you would prefer. There's lots of really interesting monsters and enemies throughout the game, interesting combat, obviously a variety of skills like I mentioned you can pick up, but just look at it, Tangled looks fantastic. So this game is from Impact Gameworks. It's around £16 in the UK eShop and $20 in the US. Platforming fans, put your drink down, get ready and get an eyeful of this. Unruly Heroes is a glorious game that does not get the attention it deserves. The Magic Design Studios, it's made up of some very experienced devs who are involved in Rayman games and other sort of Ubisoft titles, so they know what they're doing. It's a fantastic game based on an old Chinese novel, Journey to the West. You're on an adventure and you've got 4 heroes with very different unique abilities. You can actually switch between the characters on the fly. It's so much fun to play. They are very different, although certain abilities might be similar similar between characters. There's a wide variety, and you can actually use them in different scenarios. When they die, you can actually reclaim them and then bring them back to life. If you die and take up too much damage, you cannot recover full health straight away. So it's a challenging game. It looks absolutely stunning. I mean, just look at that artwork. So some really talented people in terms of the gameplay. The mechanics are fantastic. I was enjoying progressions through the story. I was going to do a full review and then I just completely blew out my back, but the boss battles, I mean, they look amazing. They're really unique. Unruly Heroes is a game you've got to check out. It's on the slightly more pricey side for an eShop game. It's around £18 in the UK and around $20 in the US. They have talked about potentially getting a physical release, but it sounded like it might be more of a limited release rather than retail, so I'll keep an eye on that, and I'm probably going to put some gameplay up on the channel as well, just because I actually want to go back and play it again. We're on to the last game for my Hidden Gems video this time round. I will do plenty more in the future, and it is Hobb Definitive Edition. It is from the creators of Torchlight and Torchlight 2, which has just been announced to come to the Switch. Hobb, it's from a combination of Panic Button, obviously involved in the port, but also Runic Games and Perfect World Entertainment as the publisher. As you can see, it is a stunning, beautiful game. It's a 3D exploration puzzle game where you have to find out what is causing this unnatural infection that is taking over the planet and try and restore it to its natural beauty. There is no ongoing dialogue in the game. There's a few sounds and things like that. There's very few elements where it holds your hand. You've got to go and explore and basically solve puzzles where you actually reconnect the planet and restore it to its normal state. There are multiple endings. I put in over 30 hours. You know, you kind of start to unravel what might have gone on just through playing the game as it is. It's a huge experience. Honestly, when you start to change the planet and fix areas and they come to life, it completely reorganizes in front of your face. What I will say is there's some slight bugs in there. Occasionally you might, get a little bit stuck somewhere, but it does right itself. It did not break the game, but it's not perfect. But the fact that it runs and it looks so gorgeous, it's got cel-shaded graphics. It's a wonderful experience. It completely engrossed me for 2 or 3 weeks. I just kept playing it, kept playing through. It's a wonderful game. It wouldn't take anyone else as much time as that, but I like to saunter around and I don't really follow a map and try and be really strategic and finish it quickly, but I can't recommend it enough. Hobb on the UK eShop is £18. In the US eShop it's $20, but there is a demo available, so you can actually check it out and try before you buy. And honestly, if you like Zelda games, if you like puzzle games, exploration, it is fantastic. So those are my 5 eShop hidden gems. I'll have plenty more of those in the future. I'll keep updating them and throw them out there every so often, but I thought I'd try and do some from 2019 so far. And it's mainly the first half of 2019. Some interesting games there that I'm sure people have missed or have forgotten about. They've seen them initially in my monthly releases or just scouting around on the eShop, but maybe not been too sure about what they are or how good they are. So I hope you've picked up something that you're interested in. There's plenty of variety in there. Obviously Hobb I absolutely loved, but all those games, they're good games. I've enjoyed them. I think there's something there for everyone. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If there's any other games you'd recommend. I'm always looking for new experiences, new games to try out on my Switch. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's your first time, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate all the views, all the subs, and I'll see you on the next video.